All right, welcome back to the Sci'D Geeks podcast. Very excited. Why am I?
Geeks, baby.
Why am I like?
Geeks, baby.
Yeah. There's been a lot of movement this week, so thank you all that have subscribed, followed, and any of the social media that we opened this week. It was pretty exciting. So we are now on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube. Of course, YouTube, Apple Podcasts. So for the Apple lovers, we're an Apple Podcast. For the Android people, Spotify. However, like our very close friend Joe Rogan, we have video on Spotify too. So if you guys want to watch video on there as well, we're high level like that.
Well, maybe they don't want to see our faces though. So
top technology. This is true, but some people like it. I just thought it was cool because not everybody has video on Spotify. So I thought we were pretty special. And if you want the audio, whatever, you can always put the video down and listen that way. But thank you to everyone that has been helping us out with sharing our content. We even got a suggestion for a promotion, right? Like this promoter that has like 1 million followers or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's pump the brakes a little bit. We only have 2 episodes. This is barely our 3rd one, but really excited. Guys, how are you guys doing?
I'm ready for those stock options to kick in.
Hell yeah.
Wait, we're getting paid?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. We're already fantasizing about our future, on how much money we're going to make, and it's not equally distributed, and our breakup. And we even talked about our reunion and your funeral, Rolly.
Yeah.
You guys
I'm sorry, bro. We had to kill you.
That's what brought us back together.
Off.
That's what brought us back together. Your funeral.
Yes.
You're the Iron Man that falls on one knee, and we're like, oh, our fallen soldier. Yes. Let's get him back. Let's do it for him.
I love you.
Guys done?
Rolly, I love you 3,000 Venezuelan pesos. All right, so let's get into it. Straight into it. We're gonna keep it engaging. Because we have a lot to cover, but we also have to go to bed. So let's get right into it. She-Hulk, guys. Episode 2 dropped a couple nights ago or a couple days ago, whatever. Thoughts, first thoughts. What do you guys think? A lot of things happen. I want to hear your thoughts.
I honestly I liked most of it. They were just small things. I was like, they're trying too hard to make it almost like Family Matters. I was like, when the family got together
at the dinner, and it's
I was like, okay.
You mean Perfect Strangers? There was Close and Letty right there.
Oh, yeah.
I know he was in it. I know he's in it, but it just felt more like Urkel was going to pop out from the corner as their neighbor showing up.
Maybe we got to explain to the younger crowd what Perfect Strangers is, because not a lot of people know about that show or that actor that plays the father.
If you know, you know.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
Bedtime for those people. Don't worry about it.
I don't even know. I remember Urkel though in Family Matters, and they did have the cousin, the stupid, silly, clumsy cousin,
Chet?
in She-Hulk. And let me give you my thoughts. I agree, Zaya. It was a short episode, and it was very cheesy. With the whole family thing and the whole, she gets fired. Of course, she gets fired after being so popular on social media and the news and everything. And then she gets rehired. Thank you, J-Mo, by the same guy from episode 1 that you called, right? And of course, she has to defend the Hulk's nemesis, right? Abomination. And I thought it was so cheesy. And I was like, meh, whatever. But it was not till after the show that everybody started doing their detective work, right? And started posting all these Easter eggs and little things that are pretty much happening around past, future that I had no idea, right? Even little clips on an internet website within the show or a newspaper or a magazine, and I was like, oh my god, how can I miss this, right? Or how could I miss this? But it just happened, and I think that the whole shock for the show hit me afterwards, which made it a great episode afterwards, right? Like it made it a great episode overall. So let's get into some of that stuff, right? So what are some of the big drops that our investigators found?
I think one thing that people were missing is the fact that there's QR codes in both episodes. That if you scan them, you get comic books. You get free comic books. Yeah, you get digital. So you get on the first one. On the first one, you get a digital copy of She-Hulk #1 when she first came out. I think back in '60s or '70s.
Wow.
And then on the second one, it's the 2006 comic book one of She-Hulk, and yeah, I mean it's pretty cool that they're doing that.
Thanks for sharing, guys. You didn't even tell us.
You know what was funny? I think in the episode is like when she got the job, and she's walking through and she's breaking the fourth wall, and she goes, you see the camera panning. There's a legal office full of comic books. They're using comic books as legal tenure towards cases. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
Instead of law books, they got comic books on the. Well, do you guys remember Logan? Was it Logan where they had comic books like referencing all the stuff that happened through the X-Men? So and I guess that's kind of like a callback too, because they're using comic books of what really happens. And then there's a video out on YouTube where I don't know how good these guys are, but they're able to call out on some of these comic book covers that was in that little, half a second scene, right? And they were like naming them like not all of them, but like a whole lot of them. And they were like, oh, and this one's a fake cover, but this is what it's about. I'm like, who has time to see all of that and know? But just by looking at the graphics in the background, which is, I thought that was.
You know what, Rolly, what it is like when you want to play with the big boys, you know that stuff. When you're ready to play with the big boys, you could zoom in and be like, that's not right. I'm not there yet.
Yeah, and that's why I like our crew, because we're pretty diverse. And like I thought I was a comic book guy. I thought I have a bunch of comic books, and obviously you can't read everything that's out there. Now it's a little easier with the whole digital thing. I'm actually rereading Secret Wars, and it's pretty awesome. But it's crazy the level of detail that some of these guys have, like Rolly was saying, and that's why we have Zaya.
Oh no! I see little things, but I'm not into like comic books. I'm into comic movies. So
right, Zaya's like our comic book movie genius. All right,
he's our encyclopedia. He tells us that in our chat room all the time. He just brags about it the whole time. What about this? What about that? What about this?
Awesome.
What am I spinning rap? What about this?
You know what's funny about these directors? Like everything they do is calculated. Like even office numbers or license plates. You've heard this a million times. License plates all refer back to a comic book. It's pretty freaking amazing. Like, and it's not something you would ever think about until someone like points out. Then you're like, hold on, let me start looking at this. And you punch in the numbers, and something comes up. And you're like, holy shit, this was something.
Yeah,
well, it's
that's
usually
pretty
like
awesome.
the set designer, though. It's usually the set designer that does that stuff, though. I don't know how deeply the directors are invested in that, because usually
the writers. The writers. Yeah.
Well, they have to have. There's actually a role for. Well, besides the writers and the direction and everything, but there's like a continuity manager, right? That like makes sure that shit is following a certain timeline, right? And speaking of timelines, I'm gonna go straight into it because I can't wait. What timeline do you guys think this is happening on? Because I thought, apparently I'm dead wrong, that She-Hulk was taking place in like present time, like after all of like present time, right? Like the latest shit, but apparently not, right? What gave that away?
For me, I thought after I saw the ending, or not the after credits scene, but the ending, I thought it was during Shang-Chi because of the Abomination news clip. So I don't know, but James,
My
Jano,
my take is a little different. I said, and I was talking to Rolly about this. I said that this is actually happening after Shang-Chi because we had the whole first episode where Bruce Banner's arm is in a sling, just like the after credit scenes in Shang-Chi, and the fact that he's healed up and he's moved on. Then when you saw that news clip that said Abomination has escaped, there's footage of him in a fight club. My take was that Wong took him out without anyone knowing, and I think he's been working with Wong as a rehabilitation for him as part of his rehab, and they weren't supposed to catch footage of him, but somehow a camera slipped in like they do in the real world when someone takes clips of Dave Chappelle getting jumped on stage. The camera's not supposed to be there, but someone has it. So someone has footage of him. He's still in jail, but there's a clip of him not in jail.
you know
And
what?
they're gonna and they're gonna end up using Wong. That's why you see Wong coming in the trailer. You see, or one of the commercials, you see Wong coming into Jennifer Walters' office, and she's interviewing him for something. And I think he's going to be a character witness in this case.
I take back my theory. I think you're right. Because I forgot about the arm sling in Shang-Chi's after credit scene. I totally forgot about that. So
I have a theory about that too, about why they were doing that, and I feel like it has to do a lot with the Thunderbolts. If you guys remember back when he's first being interviewed about what's going on, and he mentions about there's some people he wants to hang out with after.
Seven people.
Exactly.
He kept saying, and he said 7 so many times. I'm like, yeah, okay, man, we got it. 7 people.
You get it.
Why do you keep saying 7?
7 soulmates.
Yeah, they bought him property, and they're all going to live together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be. So
I think that was like, I think, a dig at Avengers, not Tower, but the base, Avengers base, where everyone was living there. Wanda was living there. Everyone was living there. I think that was a little dig at how the Avengers always lived together on that base.
You know, and the only reason I ask is because to the common fan, and I just said it, you know, I thought I was this, like, you know, wealth of knowledge when it came to comic books or whatever. And apparently I ain't shit, because I don't pay attention to these things. Like, even the fact that, like, you guys are bringing up the arm sling for the Hulk in Shang-Chi, I'm like, I don't even remember that shit. You know, I saw the clip of Wong and Abomination, you know, fighting, and immediately I thought, oh my God, because it was perfect timing, right? Like, she accepts the job, you know, and right after that, it's like, turn on the news, and they're like, oh, Abomination escaped prison, and, you know, it looks like he's fighting on an underground fight club, and I'm like, oh my God, he escaped, and you're thinking, oh my God, like, Hulk is gonna have to come back or something, you know, but what you guys just made sense, because you guys remember the other movies and remember all these little details, and that's what I think, you know, things like this make it fascinating to me, right? Well, I think to all of us, since we're talking about it, right? But to me, that are keeping up with all those timelines. Now, I did find a quick blurb right here on Gizmodo.com, and it says, now as an MCU fan, I want to read this just to corroborate a couple things. It says, you may have been watching the scene and thinking, wait, when is this? That's exactly right. And that's why I bring up the timeline, because I'm like, when the fuck is this? Because we saw Abomination participating in a fight club during Shang-Chi, so he's clearly not in prison at that time. Plus, Bruce Banner still had his arm sling in Shang-Chi and credits, which he seemingly fixed in the previous episode. These questions get more complex in the very next scene. So I think this just confirms, James, that your theory is right. Now, to go to the whole extent as to think, as to, you know, come up with the idea that Wong is taking him out for a little bit, right? And then, like, bringing him back to prison. That's crazy. I never even crossed my mind. But now that, you know, I'm regurgitating it, it makes sense.
Don't worry.
And we have
There's a
ghosts.
ghost in the house.
Oh,
It can feel my intensity.
Honestly, I think what they're going to need to really do a good job explaining is how does the government not know about Wong's plan to help him rehab, if that's what they're doing, if that's why he's there, because why else is he there, and why is this a bigger topic than it should be? Because like if everyone knows that Wong is working with him to help him rehab, what's causing the commotion?
I don't think anyone knows. I don't think anyone knows Wong was doing that.
But
He probably
why would
just-
Wong help him? Why would he help him?
It even makes sense. Of all the people, Juan, out of
Right.
nowhere. And I understand James' point. Like it's just like there's got to be a good story behind that, you know. And I think these are the questions that we're going to have answers for later on.
I think that could be a jab at our current situation, right? Like, and what all the conspirators think, right? Like the government may be doing something that's not telling people, and the news tell you one story, right? But the truth is, right? Like the truth is
really
different.
Going there.
You know, I mean, it could be a jab. I mean, like it happens, right? I mean, it happens in the real world, right? So
You're saying don't get vaccinated. You're an anti-vaxxer is what you're saying.
no, man, pump me out with that super soldier serum, bro. So yeah, so throwing that out there, right? Throwing that out there, I think it makes sense. I think it's a great theory. To be honest with you, I'm on TikTok all day. Just don't tell my job. Instagram and Zaya's throwing posts or whatever. I hadn't heard this theory till right now, and I'm just fucking shook. It blew my mind. So thank you for that. And you heard it here first.
And this is why in our chat I said I love the MCU. Don't get me wrong. But I hate how they jump around time-wise in movies now. I think it started with Black Widow, maybe? I'm not sure if it was before that. But how she died in Endgame. And then...
Captain Marvel, too. Captain Marvel when it made us go back.
Oh, no, actually, was it Captain America, the first Avenger? Mm-hmm. Actually, they went back all the way to the 40s. But you're right, even Captain Marvel. But at least with those, it's clear. Oh, this movie is a 40s movie. Oh, this movie is an 80s movie. But with these, it's near the current time, but it's not in the current time. So it's like a year ago, a month ago. You don't know.
Yeah. What's an Ant-Man?
I'm liking it. I'm liking the fact that it makes you think and like, okay, I see that. Okay, that's then. Got it. But what's funny is like I feel bad for anyone first getting into these movies because then they always ask you the same question. So what order should I watch everything? Oh. Good luck, bud. I don't have time for all that. I think Wikipedia has it. Just look at that.
It's like ask James how many times he saw She-Hulk episode 2 alone. Oh, so 3 times. 3 times.
3 times.
And it just came out like yesterday or 2 days ago. No, yesterday, right?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
So there you go.
I'm probably gonna watch it.
I was telling Rudy, I'm like, look, first time I just watched it. I'm like, okay, I'm a fan. I watched it. The second time, I'm like, let me see what I can catch. And then, like, I'm like, oh, shit. I didn't know about the QR codes until, like, I was looking up an Easter egg, and someone said, yeah, the QR codes give you comic books. I'm like, holy shit, are you serious? And then I went back, and I'm like, oh, there's one in episode 1. Holy shit.
Nice.
But yeah, but I want to talk about what Rolly brought up.
Yes, let's move into that.
Oh yeah,
big scene.
Edward Norton, right? Different actor playing the Hulk, and then breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, I love the fact that when she's asking him, "Hey, do I have your permission?" He's like, "Jen, that was a long time ago. I was a different man then, literally."
Yeah,
and she just turns to the camera. She goes, "Mm-hmm."
Yeah.
But Rolly, what I'm referring to is when he hangs up the phone, camera zooms out.
Yep.
Where the fuck are you going?
War Hulk, and you call it. You call.
Where are you going, buddy? I'm hoping it's like, but my thing is this: how are they introducing this? Is it going to be towards the end of Shield? how are they going to, I mean, Universal still has their distribution rights. How are they even going to pull this magic off unless they're, teaming up like they're doing with Sony for Spider-Man? Are they going to team up with Universal? I doubt it. But unless they play World War Hulk and
Through other
like
movies.
interject like a different movie, like almost like Hulk versus Wolverine type movie.
Yeah, but if you
And then
think
you bring
about it,
or they do another version of like comic book Old Man Logan with, because like in Old Man Logan you have the whole family, you see the kids and everything of Hulk.
well, in Old Man Logan didn't like Hulk and like She-Hulk or something have like inbred kids or something like that? Yeah, man. They have like the
I don't
Hulk
think
family.
so.
Yeah, he well, I might be wrong. I might have to go back and look, but
Kind of videos you'll be watching, Rudy.
yeah, but didn't the
Oh.
Hulk, like, he was like
I
senile and like he killed all of Wolverine's family?
Oh, you know what? I think you were on Pornhub and you saw that.
Yes.
You're
yes.
watching a snuff film with Hulk and
I don't know. I
Logan.
have a bunch of Wolverine books, and now I can't distinguish which one's which. So maybe it was the P hub.
But in all honesty, like I don't know how they're gonna play with that. I don't know. The only way I could see it is maybe going back to what Rolly said about Thunderbolts. Maybe that's what Thunderbolts is going to be going against, because Hulk is going to go bad, or his son's going to be a bad guy, and they're going to be like the Suicide Squad version of Marvel, and go after the Hulk story.
But think about this. We've seen this before, and we kind of touched a little bit last episode where we talked about that Thor Ragnarok movie was Planet Hulk. Like, it doesn't have to be a Hulk movie to be, to be specifically a Hulk movie. I mean, a lot of the stuff that we saw in Ragnarok was Planet Hulk, down to the gladiator scenes or whatever. So, I mean, who's to say that, they're going to put that in a different movie, right?
Yeah, I remember according to like the contract I read, they're like Universal won't allow him to have his own Hulk movie with him in the title and whatnot, like how Edward Norton had one and Eric Bana had one. They won't let him. So Kevin Feige asked him, "What Hulk movie would you like have done if we could do it right now?" He's like, "I'd like this done, this and this and this." So what Kevin Feige did, he interjected each of those story points into other movies, and he's like, "If you look through the progression of these movies, you'll see the movie I wanted done for Hulk." And it culminated in Thor Ragnarok. So I guess now he wants World War Hulk. So he's interjecting that into She-Hulk, and who knows what's next? Maybe in the next series, or maybe in the next movie, it's going to be another part of his story continuing on.
Is Thunderbolts supposed to be a Disney Plus show, or is it supposed to be a movie? Yeah, it's
a movie.
Okay.
Okay. So
2024 movie.
If it's a movie, I think that's what's going to end up happening. That's where they interject World War Hulk. They're going to prevent World War Hulk from happening.
Yeah.
I think that. I mean, because like if you look at, I mean, obviously we don't know what they're going to announce for D23, but from whatever they've announced so far, because World War Hulk is such a big, crazy comic book, it should be like an Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Versus World War Hulk, but there's no Avengers movie lined up in that case. I mean, there's the Kang Avengers 5 and Secret Wars Avengers 6. So if they're going to play it out anyway, if they're going to make this little scene that they pulled off happen, it's got to be Thunderbolts. I mean, I can't imagine something else.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
I was talking to James about how, sometimes they lead up stuff to special announcements like the D23 Expo that's coming up next month. And that it would have made sense if, for example, they're going to announce something big for Hulk at that event. But yeah, She-Hulk doesn't finish until mid-October. So it wouldn't make sense for them to announce something like that and spoiling what would happen in She-Hulk. If that makes sense.
I mean, I think that Friday prior to their announcement, I think it's the 9th, we should have a guessing game of what they're going to announce. We should put in our votes and have a guessing game of what the hell they're going to surprise us with.
They have to do some new movie.
Now, J-Mo, you mentioned, you dropped in a little hint, and I think that's where you were going, because you said maybe a Wolverine movie. So let's talk about that. What what happened within the She-Hulk episode 2 that calls out our friend with the adamantium claws?
Well, as the website said, there was a sighting of a man with iron claws in a bar fight, and if you remember properly, that could be talking about the first X-Men movie, because that first movie you see him with Rogue get into a bar fight.
That's right.
So I mean, is that what they're referencing?
I don't know. I was thinking more. I mean, you could be right. And I was thinking more about, just kind of dropping a hint as to a new Wolverine. But more than anything, and I don't know if it was one of you guys that sent an article or I don't know what I read it. But more than anything, it kind of tells us that mutants are there, right? Like if this is Wolverine, right, that mutants are around. And it's just a question of, where are they, right? Like, if were they during the events of the Avengers or whatever? Like, why are they in hiding? And how are they gonna bring them out, right? Because I think it's evident that that they're bringing them out, right?
I mean, that website had a lot of Easter eggs, but that one had to be the biggest one. Go ahead.
Well, Miss Marvel, that was the first big reveal for mutants into the MCU. They revealed her to be a mutant, even though I read in the comics she's actually an Inhuman. So that's a big change, and a lot of people were going crazy about that. But she's the actual first mutant in the MCU, like actual MCU. So we'll see who's next. But Wolverine seems to be next, since that
will be awesome. So you think it's the first Wolverine movie? I mean, the first X-Men movie. Sorry. So you don't think it's gonna be a new Wolverine movie?
I don't think it's gonna be an X-Men movie or a Wolverine movie. I think they're gonna bring in a character in like some other movie or series, and then from there they'll probably have them either expand upon that, like make them be a big character in a movie or big characters in a movie, and then have them have their own movie. I think that's they're gonna progress it into their own movie, since they already got everything like scheduled out.
I think what Rudy's asking is, you think this is the first sighting? Like, you think the timeline is
right
where it's at right now? I think right now, whatever year this is in She-Hulk, maybe it's the same year the first X-Men came out. Like, they're fucking with the timeline again.
See, I didn't think about that. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's crazy, because I was thinking, new movie, right? But we don't know.
Well, all of this is post-snap. Maybe the snap caused something that brought out mutants.
Well, imagine. I think you're right, because you got to think about it, where there was 3 snaps, right? The first one, and then him destroying the stones, and then they used it, and then 4. Then Hulk used it, then Iron Man used it.
Yeah.
So imagine all that gamma radiation, all that whatever radiation from the stones, that could have triggered the X gene in all these people.
Yeah, and it's funny. I saw a little clip of Stan Lee today, totally unrelated, but it just made me think that. He said that a lot of kids and a lot of people would ask him, like, hey, like, who would win between, like, XYZ superhero versus this one, like, who would win between, like, the Hulk and Spider-Man or whatever? And he was like, the answer is simple. It's like, whoever the fuck the writers want them to win, right? Like, these are fictional characters. If the writer decides Spider-Man's gonna win, he's gonna win, so it is true. They can create whatever, right? And come out. Now, I know there's licenses and studios that own this and that, but I think one of you mentioned too that maybe they don't have to call them mutants, right? Maybe they call them something else, right? And we get some sort of X-Men or whatever. I don't know, but definitely really exciting.
I think nice on that website in She-Hulk that they finally mentioned something from the Eternals. Like it says, "Why is there a statue of a man sticking out of the ocean? A giant statue of a man sticking out of either the Indian Ocean or they just said ocean." So I'm like, "Oh, finally, an Eternals sighting." So like that's going to play out too.
Right.
Nobody cares, but I think Eternals was not good, but it's going to play a huge role moving forward. And it's going to, just like with, the people in Wakanda Forever, Black Panther 2 are direct descendants from the Eternals. So it's going to be a lot of stuff like that, showing direct descendants from Eternal stuff.
That's what I was thinking. The whole Atlanteans, now Aztecs,
Yeah, I mean, they even greenlit Eternals too. So that's going to happen.
I mean, it's a different director and writer.
Small thing I saw, the fact that the lawyer that greeted them was a direct descendant of Arrowverse in The Office. So that guy that came in with the basket, and I'm like, man, where have I seen this guy before? And then I had to look up his name. I'm like, oh, he played Prometheus in Arrow. I'm like, wow, they even brought him in. He's doing double duty. He's double dipping now. He wants that MCU paycheck.
That's right. Like, who's not in the MCU, right? Jesus.
Swear.
All right, so switching it up a little bit. Are we ready to switch it up, or?
Just so you guys know, there's a bunch of stuff we could still watch. Like Sylvester Stallone in Samaritan. I want to check that out. I want to check that out.
Okay.
It's good.
Is that the Sylvester Stallone one?
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw the preview today. I was like, wait a minute, what is that?
It came out today.
It came out today? Okay, so we need to talk about that on the next podcast. But I just wanted to, and maybe we'll talk about it next week, but we kind of gave a preview of the House of Dragon. It didn't disappoint. It looks like, and it's funny, and I had to mention this because I read somewhere that, I think it was the most viewed HBO season premiere of all times, right? So So they did
a video. They did a video where they showed the premiere of all these shows, like Succession, 1.5 million. What was the other one? What other popular shows they got? Yeah, whatever. Game of Thrones, 6.6 million, and then they're like House of the Dragon, 20 million.
20 million, yeah. So immediately they said, okay, yeah, we're doing season 2. And that's awesome. But I just wanted to talk a little shit to all the people that were dissatisfied with the season finale of Game of Thrones and said they were not going to watch anything else Game of Thrones related. No prequels, no sequels, no anything. You motherfuckers were watching. You motherfuckers were part of the 20 million. So thank you for coming back. Game of Thrones rules. That's all I wanted to say.
Wait. 20... They said, when that finale came out and everything, there was a petition. They're like, please redo season 8. And they signed 2 million people signed a petition to have that whole season redone. And I
would have signed.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would have definitely signed.
Well, 20 million said, fuck that. I'm back in it. Let's go for this ride. Let's give me another 10 fucking seasons. Yep. It doesn't matter.
Rudy, here's the thing: you got a hard on because of something that happened during season 8, and this show takes place 300 years way before season 8.
172. All right, get your math right.
Now.
Hey, Rolly said 300. I was just backing his number.
Yeah,
no, I was.
And so I was like, okay. So my thing is, I've seen a lot of reviews, and not a lot of people are happy.
Yeah. So about what? Are we talking about the season finale or this new show?
The new show.
The new show. Yeah.
A lot of people are not happy.
All I have to say, and I'm not gonna spoil this for you, it's. I think a lot of people went with the intention that they were gonna get right into it, right? These are brand new characters, so you have to get used to it.
I can't pass judgment.
Yeah, you have to get used to it. You have to wait. But that first episode, it gave it all. It was definitely Game of Thrones, right? Like it had all the ingredients of Game of Thrones. So,
is it what we talked about before? Like it was going to be a huge cast. You're not going to understand from the first couple of episodes. Then all of a sudden, the person you like is going to be a dick and die, and the person you hate is going to be the hero. Is that what's going to happen? Or that nobody's going to be the hero? That's what it's going to plan out to be.
I think they're throwing a couple of twists already. I can predict a couple of twists already. But we won't talk about it. We're going to give you the benefit of the doubt. We'll wait till you watch it so that we can so that we can talk about it openly. But then,
I will say though, I like the casting on the show. I mean, they got Matt Smith, who played the Doctor, and he was on The Crown, and Reese Irfan. He's a weird name, but he's a very popular English actor. And the guy who played that weak king on the show, I remember him. You guys will never forget this. He was in Hot Fuzz. He was one of those. He was one of the cops in the police station. Who I think he was one of the guys who spoke gibberish
to
God. The I'm in Peg and shit.
And that's why we have Zaya, ladies and gentlemen. This is what Rolly was talking about. The little flash of a comic book.
No, he's like encyclopedia. That's what we're gonna call him from now on.
Encyclopedia.
Can I say the other big news of this week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kid from Superman and Lois quitting the show and citing it was mental health and then just not saying anything until he gives a cameo to like a fan for like 2-3 minutes and it explains basically everything that happened. He's like, I don't even know if I'm going to act again. I don't know what the future holds. I'll see. I'm like, seriously, dude, you're quitting because you're an anti-vaxxer. Seriously, that was one of the things. He couldn't go back into the country without getting vaccinated. So that's why he couldn't go back into Canada without getting vaccinated. And B, are you going to quit acting, making thousands or who knows, millions of dollars for playing pretend? Are you kidding me? It's my mental health. I can't. Come on, please. Seriously.
Yeah,
get out of here.
That's how privilege works, man. He probably didn't need anything before acting. He probably didn't need anything after, So,
Rolly, what did you have?
Yeah, I actually had two things. First of all, Rudy, did you see Morbius?
I did not. But
come on! I hooked you up.
But the meme.
Wait. Can I just say one thing before we get into? Because I know Rolly's going to go on a nice little tangent. There's only two things I want to bring up, and then we can just stop whatever I bring up because it caught my eye real quick. Fantastic Four has a director, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan joined the boys.
Yes.
I love both of those news. Go ahead, Rolly. Go on your little rant about Morbius. Please, for me, please.
I hope he brings Lucille.
I mean, look, I fell asleep twice trying to watch it. And then I had to rewind it like 5 times to understand what was going on. It was so bad. Like, it didn't make sense.
So now does the diarrhea, does this explain the diarrhea I had right after watching it in the theater?
Rudy, you have to watch it.
Rudy, look, I'm going to tell you one thing, Rudy. I want you to watch the trailer, right? I want you to try to watch the trailer and then watch the movie. And tell me if those two movies are the same thing.
Yeah, I saw the trailer. It was awesome. I remember seeing the trailer, and I was like, man, this motherfucker's flying already. Like,
Well, watch it before you watch the movie. Watch it right before you watch the movie.
Okay, all right. I will, and it's not that I don't want to watch it. I just haven't had time. Between She-Hulk, Game of Thrones, House of Dragon, having some construction in my house, and fantasy football. Yes, I'm one of those guys.
Who isn't?
The league. I love The League. Did you guys ever see
The League is one of the
Amazing.
That's gonna be my show recommendation. If you guys haven't seen The League, it's a little dated, right? Like if you follow fantasy football, it won't have like the current players or whatever, but it's a funny fucking show.
It still works today.
Isn't the pilot
What?
Yeah.
What about the pilot?
where they're negotiating on his release or his sentencing?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It was. He was like, "What just happened?"
He's like, did you have to wave at the camera? Did you have to smile and say hi, Grandma?
He lost Adrian Peterson.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, great show. So, what other show recommendations do we have?
That's all I had was Samaritan.
Samaritan.
That's all I want
Okay.
to watch.
What did
That's
I
all I'm
recommend in the chat? Just
A million things you recommended.
yes.
Encyclopedia recommended many things in the chat.
If you're Middle Eastern, watch Mo on Netflix. I really liked it.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't.
Is it a movie or a show?
It was a show. It's like an 8-episode, like I think 30-minute show.
I think he looks like Rudy, the guy. I think Mo looks like Rudy.
Probably.
Rudy with the beard when he has the beard.
People say that I look Greek outside of like Hispanic or whatever. I don't know if that's true, but this is the first Middle
as long
Eastern.
as you got brown.
I kind of cut the beard, but I guess with the beard, I probably could have passed. Right? Is that
Man,
racist?
as long as you got brown hair, brown eyes, it doesn't matter anymore.
Rudy,
Right after that,
you
you could be. Go ahead.
Rudy, do you still have that picture with long hair?
I do. I'll have to, and I know
Oh,
exactly
you
where it
gotta
is.
share
I'll
it.
bring it next time.
So this just came out a few hours ago. They met with the leadership at Warner Brothers to save the movie because he's concerned of The Flash being canceled.
Okay.
I mean, I love that. I mean, because that movie, I'm telling you, it's gonna save DC. It really is.
And did you hear about Batgirl?
That girl. Oh, they're trying to start a promotion to get it released.
They were going to show a screener to just the people that worked on it. And
Yeah.
yesterday they found out that everything got deleted from the server.
They didn't know.
Oh,
No.
no way.
I don't think
No,
it happened yet. It
I
hasn't
think
happened yet.
I think
They
they lost
deleted everything.
access.
The
I don't think-
director says they couldn't find it anymore. Even the
No.
footage
Yeah,
with
they don't have access.
Michael Keaton.
That's bullshit,
everything
though.
got deleted.
Can't be.
It's somewhere out there.
It's
somewhere.
somewhere
be.
they don't have access anymore. I believe that, but I don't think Warner Brothers would ever delete something like that.
I don't
Not
know.
after what happened with Snyder. Listen, whatever happened with Snyder set a new precedent. As long as a bunch of million idiots sign a petition, it'll be released.
I'm sorry,
I
but
hope I'm wrong.
Warner Brothers
That's what I read.
is Warner Brothers.
I'm sorry.
Whenever they add new leadership, it's always a horrible, wrong person. And the latest example is Walter, or who's about to be fired probably, is Walter Hamada, which seriously, kill me now. I don't know why this guy got the job.
Who the
And
hell is he?
he's the current and outgoing president of DC Films or whatever it's
Oh
called.
yeah.
What if this is a big conspiracy? And hear me
He's the
out.
guy who brought
Hear
in
me
Joss
out.
Whedon.
They make this movie and then they say, DC is fucking, sucking all these movies that we're, producing are flopping. We need this big conspiracy. We're going to make, Batgirl $70 million movie and we're going to say we're going to delete it and whatever.
90.
And like
90.
90 million. And then like 5 years from now, whatever, everybody signs a petition. And when you have 2 million people sign a petition or however it is, of course they're going to say they liked it, right? So they signed a petition, they released the movie, and now they, bend our arms to, make sure that we say, hey, it's okay. And DC goes back up and, everybody's fucking happy even though the movie sucked.
Bro, the Snyder Cut was amazing, and especially compared to the Whedon theatrical release, a million times better. And on top of that, now they're using clips from the Snyder Cut version of Justice League in their movies, like in Shazam 2 or Black Adam 2 and Black Adam and whatnot. So even though they're not saying it's canon, they're using it as canon, and I don't know.
that's my point with this Flash movie. I think this Flash movie is gonna be their make or break. To be honest with you, going forward, because like I told you guys last week, it resets to the Snyderverse, using them as the main characters, and these other movies, let's say Joker and the Robert Pattinson Batman, that's just a different universe. They're just talking about that's a whole multiple different universe altogether. Even I think Batgirl was supposed to be a different universe. So
You know why? You know why I think that new WB Discovery head canned it. I think because I just started reading how a lot of people are saying like it was like a woke film. You know how like the Flash went from like being an action drama whatever into like a woke, touchy feely superhero show. I think that's what happened with the Batgirl. Instead of making like a good drama superhero movie, they made a touchy feely woke superhero movie, and I was like, seriously, if that's the case, I don't know.
I think with the guys that directed it, if they're I think they're the same guys that directed Miss Marvel. I would at this point, I don't know much of their work other than Miss Marvel. I would have given them the benefit of the doubt just because I liked Miss Marvel. I thought it was nicely made. Yes, it had some woke conversations in it, but I liked the storyline. I thought I kept my attention.
Wait, let me ask you this though. In comparison to Miss Marvel and Falcon and Winter Soldier, which one was more
Woke.
Which one do you like more?
I like Miss Marvel more. I like the fact that Captain America and the Falcon and Winter Soldier started off almost like a buddy movie, like Lethal Weapon. But then when I even like the fact that they brought in the old man that had taken the super soldier serum. Love that story arc. When it started becoming political, I was like, kind of don't need that part. Like,
yeah, that's where I was
didn't care
going with. Like, I would rather have more woke than more political. You know.
Yeah, like I don't mind Miss Marvel from the beginning to the end. I think I liked every aspect of it. Introducing a Muslim character is not easy in this world, and I like the fact that they brought that in. But with Falcon and Winter Soldier, everything was starting off great. I even liked what's his name that played Captain America.
Kurt Russell's son.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, what is he called again? What's his character called?
Oh yeah.
Now.
So Agent.
Yeah.
Captain Agent? No.
Shit. Special Agent?
No.
I can't. Anyways, I liked that they brought him in, and he, there was blood on Captain America's shield. Love that. And the fact that U.S. Agent, exactly.
U.S. Agent, yes.
I love the fact that he took the super soldier, a version of the super soldier serum, a more tame version, but he took it. I wish Falcon would have been injected. That way, I would feel comfortable with him being Captain America. But if he's as strong as I am, he can go fuck himself. He shouldn't be Captain America. I'm sorry, but I think I could kick
Wyatt Russell.
Anthony Mackie's
Sorry,
ass.
I'll late.
Wyatt Russell, you mean?
Wyatt Russell, yeah.
What'd you call him?
John Walker.
Yeah, John Walker's U.S. agent. Yeah, but like that's my thing with that. I mean, like you said, Rolly, I'd rather be more woke than political.
No, I'm sorry. Shows. I'd rather be political than woke. Cause I'd rather not have both. I'd rather not have a lot of either. But if I had to choose, I'd rather go political. Because the woke is, oh my god, it's all touchy-feely. Oh, I'm sorry, did I hurt your feelings? Oh, I'm sorry. You're not a he, you're a they and a them. I'm sorry for calling you he or him. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Come on, man.
Leave they Hulk alone.
They Hulk. Oh my
the
god.
She-Hulk.
That was horrible.
You're gonna have to throw in that picture.
Yeah,
shared in the chat.
If you do a TikTok of this, throw the picture of that in the middle of us.
Which one?
The them
Hulk.
Oh, them.
Yes,
we'll do.
Downstairs. But yeah, that's it for me.
I just remember what I recommended, which what I was thinking of Motherland, Fort Salem, which is like kind of like how For All Mankind is an alt history of what if the Soviets won the space race. This one, it's a 3-season, 30-episode total show, which just ended this week, and it's like an alt history of like, what if witches were real? And in Salem, back during the witch trials, instead of like them trying to kill all the witches, they signed like a treaty and made them like our soldiers, and like they instead of like having guns and stuff, they like kill people with their powers and stuff.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's how, it's in current times though. It's like in today times.
That's totally a Sci'D Geeks.
Yes, I mean that was a good show. I'm telling you, if you guys.
What's it called again?
Motherland, Fort Salem.
Okay. And what? Who streams it?
It's on Hulu. It's from Freeform.
Okay.
But you can stream it on Hulu right now.
Okay.
All episodes, everything.
I'll probably watch those 30 episodes before Morbius.
just to piss Jamo off, man.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And speaking of, my recommendation will be For All Mankind. Speaking of, because it's a pretty legit show. It starts pretty accurate with the moon landing, and then it just kind of evolves from there into some good science fiction, man.
You know what I liked in that? Like they had like in like the 90s or early 90s or whatever, like 94 or something. They had like with Cisco systems, they were doing like video chatting, like how we got like iPhones have like FaceTime, and instead of FaceTime on your phone, they had like actual phones in the office, like a desk phone, and they have like a little video camera and display right there, and you can video chat that way, or through your computer too. And that was like, seriously, in the 90s, these guys had technology like that.
Yeah.
And in the 90s, this is like the third season, right? Is for clean air, clean fuel. They're taking like fuel from the moon and bringing it down to Earth, and they're getting rid of oil. In the 90s, we're now 2022, and we're still hugely dependent on oil. This is how like that alt history like took a right turn, So that's pretty cool on this show. But I don't know.
I think there's some truth to that, man. I'm telling you, conspiracy.
That helium-3 on the moon? I don't know. I would love to see that.
We didn't go to the moon.
Hey, there is a spaceship going to the moon. I think coming up soon, right?
I heard.
Yes, you heard about that? NASA's trying to go back to the moon and start the moon travels back up again.
They're going to create a space station on the moon.
Nice.
Oh, is that what they were saying? I didn't even get to that part of the article. I just saw we're going back to the moon. I'm like, finally.
You're still because you're more into the '90s. I can tell. Then in the '90s.
No, that was in the show. Each season is like a decade.
I'm teasing.
Yes. Sorry. But I mean, when was the last time America actually sent something into space? Was that like 2000 something? At least a decade, minimum.
No, Tesla keeps going up in space.
Yeah.
No, I mean like NASA itself.
NASA doesn't exist.
If NASA wants to send something up, they were like doing it with Russia, weren't they?
I don't honestly. I didn't read into it. I gotta see what's going to happen with this.
That would be interesting. But yeah, I recommend that show. Go watch it, because if you like stuff about space travel and stuff like that, and the cool thing is that it kind of, we all lived through in the 90s and through the early 2000s or whatever. So like pretty legit, realistic stuff with like some high-tech stuff like back in the 90s. So pretty amazing. Just kind of like that show that you were talking about with the like what if the Nazis would have won, right? World War II. I didn't watch that show, but I'm guessing it's sort of like the same feel. But all right.
I couldn't get into that one. I couldn't get into that Nazi one. I tried like 4 or 5 episodes in the first season, and I just gave up.
I think it's slow. That's why I think it starts off very slow.
I mean, and it had amazing actors in it too. The lead guy, the lead Nazi, is a great actor. The lead, like, resistance woman is a great actress. But I don't know. I couldn't get into it.
gonna try to finish it this coming week.
Like Breaking Bad started out very slow, and that
Oh,
turned out
yeah,
to be such a
But
great
Breaking Bad, I got into it. It was just so dark and like so like kind of depressing. I had to like force myself to watch. Sometimes I wouldn't watch 2-3 weeks in a row, and then I watch all three. I'm like, oh my god, that just happened.
Yeah,
Oh, you know,
I don't know if I don't know if I felt it was slow, but like I mean the whole story about like him getting cancer right away. I mean that was within the first couple episodes, you know, and like what is the alternative here?
I think that was a pilot.
They had me hooked right away, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get hooked right away because I was like, I don't believe Malcolm in the Middle guy is this big drug deal. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. Are you serious? Like I can't. Like it's like watching what's that show on? I think Netflix with Jason Bateman. Ozarks.
Ozark.
Oh yeah,
I can't take that full seriously.
dude.
Are you
That,
serious?
oh, because Arrested Development.
After watching Dodgeball, and he was that cracked out guy about ESPN The Ocho the whole time. I was like, I can't
that's
take this guy seriously.
right. I forgot about that. Yeah, he had like purple. He was playing like what's his name?
judge. Or,
Yeah, like a judge. Like a David Arquette back in the '90s type character, right? Like, oh yeah, man, like a surfer dude. Yeah, I remember that.
wasn't,
That's crazy.
Chuck Norris is judge.
He really
Oh my
he
god.
really dodged that one, Cotton. He just kept calling Cotton.
I remember.
Ozarks
It's
is
been
the
so
shit
long.
though. I definitely recommend that show. Is legit, dude. Stick with it. It's super
Ozark?
good. Ozark.
I never
yeah.
saw it. I never watched it.
Oh
I
my
haven't seen
god.
an episode
You guys
yet.
are you know snoozing on that because it's a really
that finish?
really good show. It ended this year.
Yeah, it just ended.
Yeah, Netflix started to stretch it out like in 3 parts or whatever, but it's all there now.
Oh.
Have you noticed,
Netflix
like-
canceled Resident Evil?
I heard
Yeah.
about that too.
Oh, it's awful. It's
Really?
awful.
Hey.
Oh my god, it's so bad. It's like, dude.
Which
Like,
one was
why is
worse?
it bad?
I mean, even
Which
the
one was worse?
most recent
Which one was
movies
worse?
haven't been like that hot, right? I mean,
That's what I was gonna say. Which one was worse, the movie that came out this year or the TV show that came out this year of Resident Evil?
Ooh, that's close. Here, I like the movie more only because
The guy from The Flash is in there who played Deathstorm.
because I only had to sit through it for 2 hours. Whereas the show is like what 11 episodes or 10 episodes. It's just like, oh god, that was awful.
Resident
I don't
Evil is
watch
just
either of them.
it's just a different thing though. Like when you're a fan of the game and you've played like all freaking like 10 games or whatever, there's a
You know what
special
else- you know-
something. It's like the Street Fighter game, like the Street Fighter movie. It sucked for everybody, but I was like, you know, these are characters that I played in a video game, so I'll give it a chance, right? Like I'll sit down and watch it or whatever. Same thing with Resident Evil. I mean, if you think about the movies, I mean, I haven't seen the show, but if you think about the movies, like they have not been any good. I mean, it was like maybe the first 2, 3. After that,
Rudy,
it's like whatever.
What we're talking about is they just came out with a new movie, like maybe a year or two ago,
Oh,
with
this
a
year?
completely different cast.
No, this
However
year.
long.
Within the
Welcome
past
to
year.
Raccoon City, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was. No, that's
2021.
2 years ago.
No, that's not this year. I thought. Let's see.
That's not this year.
I'll tell
That's
you
got to
right
be
now.
last year. That's got to be last year easily.
Z's gonna pull it up right now.
2021. You're right.
So like,
So
at
it
least
was ended last year.
at least that one had characters from the game. Whereas for the Mila Jovovich ones, you're like, who the hell is this girl?
Yeah.
She's not from the game. Who? All of a sudden, oh, she's someone that works at the laboratory. I'm like, all right. That's the only thing I'll give it to him.
But
I
the
don't
movie
know.
was. I mean, I know what you're saying, but that movie was badass. I thought, you know.
Oh yeah,
Mila
the first
Mila
one.
Jovovich
First one.
made the movies. I think when
thought
when she quit.
No, man, they killed it by the end of it. Like the first 2, and that's it. All the rest, like they came out with 6 of them. Like go fuck yourself. Now you're just a cash cow. Calm down.
Now
They
you're
were
just
not
milking
good.
it.
It was like Underworld with Kate Beckinsale. She was.
It's
in
no,
all
it's
those
like
movies.
Fast and Furious.
Oh,
Getting
here we
worse
go.
and worse
Here
and
we go
worse.
again.
Don't hate. Those are my movies, bro. I
Man,
love
those
those.
movies suck dick.
Those are the
I'm,
shit.
I'm with
We're
you,
haters.
Zaya. The more impossible
Yeah.
shit they have, the better.
Let me
Hey,
let me
bro,
surf let me
Bro,
surf
they
this
took a car
Roadrunner.
into space.
NASA needs
They
to
took a
talk to
car into
NASA
space.
needs to talk to Fast
I
and the
love it.
Furious writers, man. They can make it happen.
It's all about family. It's
As
all
soon
about
as he-
family.
As soon as he surfboarded the Roadrunner, hit the fucking pylon, flew through the air, caught Letty, twisted backwards, landed on another car, and goes, "Are you okay?"
Hey, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Did you watch the
I
movie
wish.
RRR
I
on
w-
Netflix?
No, not
What?
yet. I'm going to. That.
What?
I'm going to.
You need to watch
I'm
that.
going to.
Zaya,
I heard
you,
it's
you
amazing.
haven't. It's that.
What's
I
RR?
heard it's amazing.
RR. You
And
oh, you
Carter.
need to watch that movie, bro. Triple
Rudy,
R or
and
RR.
And Carter. And there's a movie called Carter.
Okay.
They're both dubbed. They're both English dubbed movies,
Oh, no.
and they're supposed to be
can't.
like act. You could, I swear.
No, I mean I can't. I really don't
You
like
could.
those
You could
type of movies.
just turn it on. Just turn it on. If I have to watch that stupid witch show,
Turn it off.
you're gonna watch this. If I gotta watch that stupid witch show, you're gonna watch RRR.
RRR.
okay.
Watch. Just watch the first 20 minutes. You're
Bro,
gonna
it's-
be hooked.
It sounds like
If I gotta, if I have to watch a show where women win everything, you're gonna watch RRR.
You know what? Even though that Motherland show, it's all like female, a majority female cast. It's
Yes.
not as bad as like the Flash became with all the wokeness and shit. I mean,
I don't know.
it
I don't like.
never went.
I don't
It
like seeing
never
women
went into
dominated.
that territory.
Can a witch
You know what?
only be a female? Is that right? Or can a
Yeah,
male be a
yeah.
witch? Or will that
On
be a
that
wizard?
show- on that show, majority were women, but there were men too. But not as many.
There's no
That's
such- Those are warlocks.
warlocks.
They're not witches.
What if we call them witchics?
what
Witch
the
ex-
Are you high? Are you high?
A little bit.
What are you drinking, Rudy?
What did you have? A gummy?
All right. On that note, we're gonna call it right there. We'll definitely. I had a lot of fun again, guys. I appreciate it. Any last minute thoughts?
No, just I can't wait to watch Samaritan at this point. I'm gonna turn that on tonight. As soon as we're done with this.
I liked it. I think I recommend it. I think you'll enjoy it. But I like the Fast movie, so I don't know. You know,
That doesn't say much then.
Touche, salesman.
hatred.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it. Again, we have the socials out there. We're, primarily on Spotify. If you want to watch some video or listen to the podcast, we're on Apple Podcasts as well. Also on TikTok. We're on YouTube, Instagram, all the above. I think we're missing Facebook, but Facebook, I think, is in the past, right? Although, I think most people follow,
I think,
pages on Facebook or whatever.
I think the only thing we're missing is like Snapchat and Facebook.
There you go. We need a Twitter too, but
Twitter. Yes, Twitter.
we need a Twitter too. We'll let you manage that one, Zaya. But we're there. Give us a chance, give us a follow. We would really appreciate it. If you like this type of stuff, you won't be disappointed. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week.